Hi guys, this is Michelle from Raw and Real. Thank you for all the positive feedback that you gave me to when I shared my story, and didn't get to get all of it into there, so there'll probably be little bits and pieces that I'll be sharing as time goes on. But today is December 26th. That's the day after Christmas, and I wanted to address how, if you are a person that celebrates Christmas, how your holiday went yesterday. I had some feedback from some of my friends that their holiday didn't go quite as well as they had hoped, and in fact oftentimes that is kind of common. A lot of people really have a hard time around the holidays because of family dynamics, and so the holidays are a time when it's centered around a lot of pressure, a lot of high expectations, a lot of old hurts and food, and it's a pretty sometimes explosive combination. And for some people, they have lost family, and so it's a very depressing time, and it reminds them, they compare themselves to other people who have families that are really warm and close, and so then they have a lot of sadness that comes up for them that way. So today I wanted to talk about the pressure to eat the unhealthy foods when you're trying to eat plant-based diet and a raw vegan diet, and the comments that you might be getting from that, from people who are not ready to make healthy changes. And I've been through that with my own family. My mother passed away. She overdosed on prescription medication. The week before she died, she had been diagnosed with emphysema after years and years of smoking. And she had been drinking after relapsing after 27-year sobriety when my stepfather came down with bone cancer and passed away. And when they found her, she had 5 anti-anxiety medications in her. And the holidays, whenever I would go with my family, I don't observe Christmas anymore, but back when I did, were oftentimes a real pressure cooker. And I wasn't eating the way I eat now back then, but when I did, I got a lot of flack from my parents, and so no doubt maybe you do too. People are asking you, why can't you just set that aside for now? I made you for this. In comes all the guilt, in comes all the pressure, the labels, you're orthorexic, you're this, you're that, whatever, and that can be really, really tough. And so I wanted to introduce a couple concepts to you. The first one is called boundaries. And we're going to be talking a lot about boundaries in my videos. And there's a really good book called Boundaries that has got some really great stuff that has helped me. And my next video, I'm actually going to entitle it Bill of Rights. And I'm just going to go right through. There's about 20 different rights that are inherent to every human being. You have the right to say no, you have the right to disagree, you have the right to change your mind without anybody's approval. But today I wanted to talk about how hurting people hurt other people. And the reason for that is we can only give to others what we have inside of ourselves. And if all we are filled up inside with is hurt that we have not resolved, what ends up happening is when somebody goes through a trauma or pain that has never been resolved, oftentimes, especially as a child, that pain is so great that they disassociate. And disassociation is when you completely numb out from your feelings, and your mind, it's almost like having an out-of-body experience. This happens a lot for people who've been molested, people who have been beaten, or even severe verbal abuse. And what happens with these people, the way to heal trauma is through empathy, through somebody else hearing our pain and holding it with compassion and honor, and really helping us to grieve through it. When we don't get that kind of empathy, and we see somebody else doing well, or we think that they're doing well and they seem happy, and they're losing weight and they're eating healthy and they're thriving, that taps into our old unresolved pain, and it hurts because it reminds us, I don't feel that good. I don't feel motivated to make those changes. I'm not happy like that person. And so if we're not self-aware, which, or an aware person would be like, oh, that is really great. Show me what you're doing. I'd love to do that too. What most often happens is that person is going to lash out at that happy person. And in a very convoluted way of trying to get empathy, they will inflict hurt on that person for two reasons. Number one, to bring them down to size, so that if you're not doing well and you're down to my level, well, then I feel better because now there's not that pain, that disparity of seeing how happy you are versus me. But second of all, you know, in talking with people in recovery, one person was saying that they, you know, their parent had told them, you know, I hope you just go kill yourself. I hope you, you know, I wish you would just die. You know, I wish you were never born. Horrible thing to say to a child. And this individual had gone through horrible abuse at the hands of various people through their life. And so when they got hurt, they would lash out and they would physically, you know, get combative with people and assault them. And they said that I wanted them to hurt as badly as I was hurting. So it's almost like a forced sort of empathy that if you're not seeing my pain, then I'm going to inflict the pain so you know how bad it feels. So what do? Well, we can attempt to give empathy when somebody's attacking us and realizing it's completely not personal, and we can say, you know, I'm hearing that this is really bringing up a lot of painful feelings for you. But if that's not working and that individual is just, you know, still, you know, wanting to be kind of a perpetrator, you know, they've gone from being a victim to a perpetrator, we may need to set some limits and set some boundaries and create some distance and say, you know, I am not really appreciating the tone of voice you're using with me right now. I'm wanting to take care of myself, and I'd really like it if you would respect that. And I feel sad that our relationship doesn't allow space for you to be supportive of that. Is that something you feel that you can support? Now, some people have shared with me that if they ever set that kind of boundary with their parents, they'd get smacked, or they'd get hung up on if they were on the phone, or they would get ostracized. And I guess my question to you is, if your family is that extreme and I dare say abusive, do you really want to stay in relationship with them? Is that really, I mean, I know you're going to grieve that loss if you finally set that boundary, but can you find the self-love? My tagline for Raw and Real is daily dose of self-love. Can you find the self-love to trust and appreciate that you are worth being around people who are going to be supportive and treat you with respect? And can you treat yourself with enough respect to walk away from people like that? And trust yourself and not abandon yourself enough to know that you can find other people who are going to be supportive of you and your goals. Because that's what eating raw healthy food does, is it heals you on a cellular level, and it upgrades every, you know, cell in your body. And you realize that, hey, you know, I have dreams, I have goals, I have things I want to do. I want to be around people who are thriving and who want to support me toward that end. And, you know, I'm sure you're willing to help these other people who are hurting, but at the end of the day, they have to want to be helped. And if they're not willing, then you have to detach with love and stay on your journey and find people who will. You grieve the loss, and hopefully at some point these people will join you on your journey. So hopefully that helped. Look out for the next video on the Bill of Rights, and feel free to write them out and put them on your, you know, bathroom mirror or your refrigerator, or put them in your wallet and read them daily. Get them down into your heart, because inevitably you have some core beliefs that tell you that it's not okay to speak up. I'm not worth it. People can't be trusted. You know, there's some core beliefs that need to be examined and need to be changed. So I hope this video had something helpful for you, and I definitely think that you are worth it. You have a right to say no. You have a right to be around people who support you to eat healthy in your journey. You have a right to be comforted with a fruit smoothie rather than a chocolate chip cookie or a candy bar. And you have a right to be healthy and happy. So on that note, I'm going to go ahead and close and get to work on that next video on the Bill of Rights, and look forward to taking this journey with you. Be well.